Ach, je raakt niet uitgekeken hier in Indonesië. Zoals hier, de mensen op de Zawa. Maar er zijn ook sprookjesachtige dansers. Verder prachtige batikkleding. Ik ben niet echt een landschapsschilder, maar meer een mensenschilder.
Hetty Ansing talks enthusiastically about her paintings and her connection with Indonesia. She explains how she creates her paintings and her road to success. In her studio, she tells us about the color structure and the play with light and dark, which is so special of her work and which has become her unique style. Watercolor painting is a tricky medium for most people, but she has developed her own specific, beautiful technique with her signature, brightness and color. Almost 20 years ago, Hetty Ansing was touched by the magic of the beautiful country of Indonesia and its people. It's there that she absorbs her impressions of the landscape, the people, and their culture. In her studio, she brings them to life in her numerous paintings under the title Impressions of Indonesia. She portrays Indonesian life in all its diversity and variety, without any false sentimentality. Using a specific classical technique, Hetty leaves the white background of the paper as contrast to the layers of color that she builds up gradually with a steady hand and a lot of patience. She starts with larger brushes, overpainting and refining with very small brushes to create that beautiful result. This approach is beautifully reflected in the painting The Tea Picker. The portrayal of textures in the clothing is very refined, and the subtle colors built up against the white background of the paper create a vibrant and expressive scene. An Indonesian businessman saw her portraits and noticed a similarity with the work of the painter Willem Hofker, a Dutch painter who lived and worked in Indonesia from 1935 till 1946. Undoubtedly there are differences, but in her own way, Hetty's work is reminiscent of Hofker's subtle portrayal and eye for detail. The work in her beautiful collection reflects this tradition. The batik culture is influenced by many things, influences reflected in patterns, colors and symbols. Nevertheless, the method remains the same. It needs a steady hand and painstaking work using the small instrument with liquid wax. With utter concentration, the hot wax is poured with a narrow nozzle onto textiles, creating intricate patterns in narrow or wide faces. It requires a lot of patience and experience. This kind of traditions, culture and life of the people are often the subject of Hetty Ansing's paintings. In modern Indonesia, there's still a lot of nostalgia for the old days, known as tempo dulu, an emotional memory and fascination with the past. Hetty's pictures portray the country and its people, giving the impression that the contemporary pace links to strong cultural and social bonds from the past. She's always surprised by the spontaneous and sometimes emotional reactions evoked by her work. We want to see Bali as a paradise, but everywhere there are mopeds and traffic, and it can be very busy. Despite the traditional life, time is not standing still here. In Yogyakarta, the dance of the court dancers of the Kraton is derived from the movements on the flat bajing bowl. With stylized movements and utmost precision, every gesture in the dance has meaning in the story. Beautiful costumes underscore the age-old tradition of the court dancers. The rigorous dance and manners express the courtesy and perfection which are so respected and admired in Javanese culture. Countless times Hetty Ansing brought this subject into her work. The ploughing buffalo, squelching through murky water, is a popular topic. The seeming unwieldy but strong animal has given service and proved its worth for centuries. On the Sawa, the Agal farmer leads the buffalo with only a rope and the snapping of the whip. This traditional scene is doomed to disappear, and Hetty sees it as her mission to preserve the memory in her paintings. In addition to the complete images she pictures, Hetty has the ability to put together various subjects in one painting. A good example is this Balinese woman. Combined with some decorative elements, she created an attractive composition. Hetty paints what she sees, the unique images that she observes, special scenes that can't be made up and which are part of everyday life in Indonesia. Scenes such as these women coming in from the fields, deftly balancing their way across the bumpy ground. With bundled rice in their heads, they are carrying their harvest and the cutting blade that has been used to gather it. These are truly unique images of the ancient and traditional country life that, unfortunately, will slowly disappear, but are portrayed for posterity in Hetty Ansing's beautiful watercolors. Bali has magical attraction. The bright and beautiful costumes, lively dances, and gamelans create a fairy tale atmosphere. Hetty has expressed elements of these dances in many of her paintings. Accompanied by an impressive gamelan orchestra, an unearthly and fairy-like narrative is created in dance. Through good contacts with the Kraton, Hetty Ansing has access to the department where the dancers prepare themselves for the performance. So she is free to photograph or sketch the dancers. Hetty's portraits of the court dancers reflect her fine painter technique, particularly in the way she paints the materials and textures of the costumes. During her first painting lessons, Hetty was often told that her way of painting was too precise and exact. It should be more freehand and impressionistic, but she felt comfortable with it, and who should tell her what's right or wrong? She has found a style in which she can express the emotions she sees and feels in the subjects and scenes she observes and paints. Buyers and collectors of her paintings are touched by what the paintings evoke for them and recognize and feel the atmosphere and emotions she portrays. She cherishes that as the greatest recognition for her work.